Well, I'm joined now by a coughing and spluttering John Corabi ahead of their second appearance for the Winterland Tour here at the O2 Islington. John, welcome back to the UK.
Thank you, sir. It's been awesome.
I'm guessing you guys are about time you bought second homes here, because the UK seems to be quite popular for you.
You know, it's weird. I was just telling the UK for me has always, I think, supported just about every band that I've ever been in. I mean, the Scream, the Motley record that I did, and then even Union. I had the band Union with Bruce Kulick, and we got great reviews over here for a lot of our records. And you know, we played. We didn't play over here that much, but when we did, it was pretty cool. And you know, and then this thing, it's just been insane. Like, it's like every time we come back, it's like it just seems like it's a little bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're all very pleasantly surprised, but it's cool.
Would you say that you're getting that kind of action over here because the rock scene is just a hell of a lot healthier here in the UK and Europe than the States?
I don't know. I just think that I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that, because a lot of people ask me, even in America, like, man, you know, the English and the European market they're just way more into rock, aren't they? And I said, well, yeah, but no. It's weird. Like, the one thing I will say, though, I think once people here are into a band, regardless of whoever the band is, I think that they tend to be a little more loyal and lengthy.
Right.
Like, it's like a lifetime thing.
Sure.
Back like when I was a kid, you know, even if Aerosmith did a bad record, you still bought the record. You know what I mean? It was like weird. You were like, I'm into Aerosmith, or I'm into Kiss or Zeppelin. You know, so you were kind of a lifer. And I think that it's weird, like here in Europe, they still have that mentality, where America's very, you know, okay, move that next, move that next. You know what I mean? It's very strange.
I've been interviewed other people over the years. They've said, with the UK, we tend to have more of an eclectic taste here. We're not so sort of pigeonholing of bands, shall we say. We're more, not forgiving, that's not the right word, but we're more sort of accommodating.
Well, I mean, historically, if you look at some of the bands that have come from here, you know, obviously you had the Beatles and the Stones and the Who and the Kinks, but if you really even look at those bands, they were all, even though they were all successful, they were all a bit different from each other. And then once you started getting into like the 70s, you know, you had Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and you had bands like Jethro Tull, David Bowie, and Queen, and it was just so diverse.
Yeah.
And I just think, I don't know, man. I just think that there's a genuine love of the art of music, or any
Sure.
sort of art in the UK, all through Europe. There's a love of still for even painting, poetry, you know, books. I don't know, it just seems much more ingrained here than it is in America, you know. Now, if you put art on an iPhone, we fucking got you. But over here, it's like, you know, I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. I think that there is more of a, like when somebody does come along that's actually creative or eclectic, you guys appreciate it, you know what I mean? And then once you are a fan, like you're a fan of that person or that band for, like, there's a loyalty there.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's weird. Now, it's funny, in America, the bands or the artists that are really have that type of loyalty, it's more like the country artists. Do you know what I mean? The guys that were popular 10, 15, 20 years ago in America, like the Clint Blacks and, you know, those country guys, like Johnny Cash, you know, they were just popular their whole. Garth Brooks is still popular. He could still go out and do a soccer stadium.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for some reason the country fans have it, but the rock fans, it's kind of gone. I can't explain it. I can't explain it.
Well, to me, the Dead Daisies as a band with their music is probably a blueprint for what I regard as hard rock. Was this sound that you've got something that was conscientious, or is it just obviously due to, let's just say, a little bit of experience that all the band members have got over the years? Is just something that has been quite sort of natural, that has just happened?
It's just kind of happened. I mean, because we're into the stuff that we're into. Again, you know, we reared our teeth on, you know, all that 70s eclectic, crazy, like great bands, you know, a lot of the British bands, you know, most of the British bands, you know, but even some of the American ones like, you know, Aerosmith, Grand Funk Railroad, you know, and we just took all those elements and put them into a pot. These are our influences. And then, you know, Doug Aldrich sounds like Doug Aldrich. I sound like me, Dean, you know,
yeah.
Everybody. You know, we just go out, we play the songs.
But it works.
And it works. I don't know why it works. I don't know why this band seems to be clicking with the English audience, but it works. And we're, you know, onward and upward, you know.
One thing I want to ask you, obviously, you played in Cuba.
Yes.
I'm intrigued. What was that as experience as an American band going to Cuba? Obviously, you probably had a bit of sort of political back pressure, etc., off the back end of it.
There was, well, they had started setting us up with their prior singer. It was something that David, our manager, had been working on for a year. Something came up. I don't know the logistics, but for some apparent reason, their old singer John Stevens couldn't do the show, and so they asked me to go, and I went over, and it was weird. They were like the first, I guess you'd say American band, because we had to get a lot of clearances from America to go over.
Yeah.
Cuban government had to do clearances, and you know, but we went over and we had a great fucking time. There's so much great music there, great musicians that unfortunately are struggling and nobody will ever hear of. But it was a great trip. It was my first trip with the band. I had never done anything with them prior to that. So it was kind of, for me, I think it was more of a, you know, I was getting them out of a pinch because they didn't have a singer, and I think it was a bit of an audition for me to see if I could handle myself. Yeah, so it was kind of a twofold thing, and then I wound up doing a record right after with them, and we've gone, you know, moved forward. So,
and the rest is history.
Yeah, but it was a great trip. We had a great time, and it really kind of put things into perspective for all of us. You know, when you see musicians over there, because of the boycotts with American companies, you know, these musicians over there can't get guitar strings, can't get picks, you know, drum heads. So they basically take money and they send it to family members in America, and the family members buy stuff and then have to send it over to them because they, you know, it's just no American companies can sell their goods or wares there. So it's really crazy, but they're not deterred at all. They love the music, and they'll take their bass strings and boil them in hot water, and they just take them and put them right back on the bass again. They don't care. Hello, love.
Finally, speaking of trips, how come the Dead Daisies haven't been on Mork yet?
Haven't been on what?
Monster Rock Cruise yet? Isn't it about time? Or are you too happy being yourself by the pool?
No, I mean, I've done it several times with my solo band and by myself.
I've seen you on there twice.
But I don't know. I'm just, for the record, I don't know why we're not on the Monsters of Rock. But yes.
Well, John, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. Looking forward to seeing the show tonight. Thanks ever so much for the opportunity to have a chat.
Awesome.